With Apex Legends Mobile Season 2 dropping in just a day or so, I thought I would talk about what I believe is one of the most problematic things currently facing the game. Now, I'm gonna be honest, the Apex Mobile dev team has done a fantastic job fixing the bugs that were present at launch. They've been doing a ton of, soft updates, patches that have been fixing these bugs, get everything tidied up, and they have announced that for Season 2, they're gonna continue to work on optimization and bug fixes. And so at launch, a lot of people were hung up on some of these glitches and these issues, but honestly, the more these issues have been fixed, it just kind of inadvertently shines a bigger spotlight on what I'm going to be talking about in today's video, and that is the ranked mode in Apex Legends Mobile. Now, within the first season, I've clocked in around 120 hours or so of ranked gameplay. I reached top 51 in the world for the first person mode, and currently I'm around master rank in the third person mode, so I think I have a little bit of value in what I say, because I've just been doing nothing but grinding it. And if you guys are thinking to yourself, well, why did you put so much time and effort into the ranked mode if you think there's so many problems with it? And that's because most of the problems really weren't apparent off the bat. Starting ranked and grinding, the first week or two was some of the most fun I've had gaming ever. The lobbies were so intense, they were so competitive, the content was amazing. Literally every player in the community was having an amazing time. And over the last 2 weeks or so, that has changed pretty drastically with the introduction of custom rooms and just the current state of the ranked mode. A lot of these top players have since left ranked, and they're just spending all day, every day scrimming in these private matches, because that's where you can really only find competitive Apex Mobile gameplay. And since the ranked mode accounts for so much content of the game, it's a little worrying that there's some huge flaws in terms of just the base level of what's going on in the mode. And so because of that, I wanted to discuss the two biggest problems currently in the ranked mode, as I feel like Apex Mobile has done a really great job of listening to community feedback. And as of right now, it seems like people are just quitting ranked, going to play scrims or just playing pubs, and they really aren't talking about the ranked mode. And so I just wanted to make this video as sort of like a constructive criticism for Apex Mobile. If this somehow happens to end up in the hands of the team, I really hope they can think about what I'm saying, because I definitely know what I've been feeling over these last few weeks. The sentiment has been echoed by a lot of players in the community. And so let's start off with one of the biggest, honestly, the biggest issue in ranked mode, and that is bots. Now, I am a big fan of actually having bots in mobile games, and there's a very simple reason. When I first started out playing mobile games years ago in Fortnite Mobile, there was no bots. It was just real players, 100 real players in one lobby, and I had never played a mobile shooter before. A lot of people came from other mobile games, Critical Ops and stuff like that, to Fortnite Mobile, so they already had a ton of experience and skill within the mobile shooting genre, and so I was just left in the dust. I was getting clapped left and right by these real players starting out the game, and luckily I pushed through. But I know a lot of friends who quit the game because it was just too difficult to learn mobile. And so having bots in an environment like a public match or TDM or a respawn mode, it really allows a new player who's never touched a mobile game before to get the experience with the controls, learn their sensitivities, mess around with their heads-up display while still going against AI. So they're sort of getting a feel for how real gunfights would work, but they're not being thrown into the deep end because a lot of people uninstall mobile games if they just can't pick it up fast enough. So for that reason, I really believe in bots in mobile games, but I have absolutely no clue why they have decided to put bots in the ranked mode, and I might not have a problem with it if there was maybe 2 to 4 bot teams a match. But on a consistent, regular basis, just looking at the kill feed and how many bots I run into on just a regular basis in the Predator ranks, I have to assume there's upwards of 30 to 50% of the lobbies being filled by bots each game. And if you think about it, the ranked mode is supposed to be the most competitive environment possible in the game. If you want to go have a fun time with your friends, go play pubs. If you want to go, chill, do some LTMs, that's fine. But ranked is for the hardcore grinders who want to improve their skill, push ranks, and just grind the game. And so introducing bots that by design have like a 0% chance of killing you, it does nothing for the competitive environment of the game and drastically decreases it, because instead of having 60 real players of that skill level in your game, you're having 30 to 35, maybe 40 real players, and then the other 20 or so are just artificial intelligence that you really can't die to. Now, on top of this, what introducing bots into the game does is also change change the mindset of how you engage fights. Now, personally, I've been playing mobile games for a long time, so I kind of know how the bots function in these games. And same thing with Apex Mobile. They have a very definitive sort of way they move around, way they engage in gunfights. And so oftentimes I'll see a squad walking around the map and I'll call out to my team, yo, that's a bot squad. Let me go 1v3 them. And they turn out to be a real team that just didn't have great movement, or maybe I caught them off guard at the wrong time and I get 1v3'd and killed. There should be no reason that in Predator rank, I'm assuming a team is a bot squad and then getting 1v3'd. It just changed the mindset of how I take fights, how my teammates takes fights. There's been so many countless incidents of me saying, yo boys, this is a bot squad. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go flame them. And then I'm like, yo, I'm dead. I call out, I'm dead. It happens way too many times. I was actually talking to Noah from YouTube about this last night, and he said the same thing, that it just changes the mentality of how you engage in fights. And then the last thing that bots do to negatively hurt the game is they really just artificially inflate people's ranks. If you think about it, if around half of the lobbies are bots, and especially in the very early ranks, like 90% of those lobbies are bots. So you're getting free kills, you're getting a ton of points, you're getting promoted to ranks that if they were real player lobbies, you might not have achieved due to, you know, dying off spawn, not getting these, you know, free 6 KP a game. And so there are a ton of people in the game, and I'm not calling anyone out. This isn't anyone's fault. I mean, even myself, I still kill bots. I get the points and they helped me push up through the ranks. But because they're in the game, a lot of people are in ranks that they really shouldn't be in. You know, maybe a master player who plays a ton and has killed a lot of bots on the way to his master rank should realistically be around like the plat level if they were fighting real players. And so there's a lot of people in these higher up ranks that just don't belong there, which then feeds back to the lack of a competitive environment, which then just makes the ranked mode at the very top levels, and honestly for everyone, just overall less enjoyable. So having bots, I understand they decrease the queue times, but if someone is playing a ranked mode in the first place, I think they would be willing to put up with a few more seconds, you know, maybe 30, 60 seconds of queue time if they could get a real lobby. So that's the first thing, is bots. Now the second thing, and something that really doesn't affect as many people, but you guys might run into it at some point, is the point system. Now realistically, the point system doesn't get problematic until around the plat to diamond range. You guys might notice when you're pushing up through bronze, iron, silver, gold, you're getting like 100, 200 points a win at times. But when you reach the plat range, you start capping out with, you know, max KP at around 100 points. You hit diamond, you start maxing out at around 70 points a win. Although meanwhile, each time you rank up, your bus fare increases or your cost of entry increases. So if you die off spawn, maybe in gold you used to lose 30 points, but in diamond you're losing 70 points. So all the while you're gaining less points, but it's becoming increasingly more expensive to enter these matches. Whereas on console and PC, this statistic is pretty absurd. If a Predator player in console or PC wins a match, they get 7 times as many points as we do on mobile. Currently, if I win a game of Apex Mobile, I'm getting awarded around 30 points. I had a game last night. I won a game, max KP, 25 points. However, if I were to die off spawn in any game of Predator, I'm losing upwards of 120 points every time I die off spawn. So if you do the math, and let's say I die off spawn one time, and that, you know, it's a one minute mistake, I'm dead. It would take me over 2 hours of just winning. If I won 4 to 5 games in a row, it would take that long to make up the points I had lost off one off spawn death. So you have to have an 80% win rate in Apex Legends Mobile at the high ranks to push points. Now, I don't know any good console PC player who has an 80% win rate. You know, maybe they have an 80% top 5 placement, something more understandable, but an 80% win rate is just so unachievable that right now where I am in the game, I can't really push points because it's just so unrewarding that I don't know what to do. And even in Master, once you hit Master, you're capping out at around 60 to 70 points a win at best, probably averaging around 50. And so if you guys do decide to push points at any time in your Apex Mobile career, if they keep this current point system, you're just gonna reach a point where you don't want to play anymore. Like realistically right now, I don't want to play, because if I play, it's way riskier for me to play and try to get points than it is for me to just not play and play like pubs or play something else, which once again, the less people playing ranked because of the point system and the bots, the less competitive it is, the less competitive, the less people who play. So it's just a negative feedback loop right now of there's some really key issues going on in the game that if they address them, I think it would make so many people come back to ranked. A lot of the people who I know were pushing points and grinding early on, I'm pretty confident that they would return to it, give it a shot, and keep grinding. And like I said, myself, I kind of don't have that same fire in me to grind ranked like I had at the beginning of Apex, because the lack of competition, the incredibly skewed point system, and the amount of bots in the game just really make it an unenjoyable experience at the high ranks. And especially, I want to be providing you all with the best content possible. And if there's so many bots in the game that they die off spawn, the games aren't intense, they're not enjoyable, they're not good content, well, then I can't really make videos for you guys. And so, like I said, I'm making this video because I feel like the Apex team has done a really good job of listening to the constructive criticism given along the way. And honestly, I think if they just remove bots or slowly scale back the amount of bots in ranks and then just use the console and PC point system. I don't know why they have such a drastically different point system for mobile when it's the same game. Yeah, there's bots in the lobby, and that's probably why they have to use a more nerfed point system, but you shouldn't get rewarded less for performing at a higher skill level. If anything, you should get more points if you're winning a game in Predator, because that's arguably way more difficult than a gold or a silver win in those lower ranks. So the backwards point system, the bots, I really hope they get addressed coming into season 2. I'm not sure they will, but if they do, I'm going to be super excited. We're going to be back on the Apex point grind and the ranked grind. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you've been feeling, some of these frustrations that I've been feeling, hopefully I could be a voice for you guys, a voice for the community, because I know for sure at the higher end, a lot of people just haven't been liking it. Even at the low range, a lot of people are frustrated. They're like, when am I going to have less bots in my game? When am I going to have all real players? And I keep telling people, you're not. There's just always going to be bots at the current state of the game. And so hope it gets addressed. Hope it gets fixed. If it does, of course, I'll be sure to update you guys. With all that being said, it's been your boy, DuckyTheGamer. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.